After Thanksgiving, my daughter's boyfriend and I were able to get quite a bit of work done. This is the right flap. We were able to get all the rivets here in the top side all driven. Nose rivets all attached, no skins are on, and then we did the pro sealing of the trailing edge, which some people say you don't have to. We already talked about this. I'm probably not going to do the ailerons, but I went ahead and did the flaps. I did, and good news, I did figure out how to finally do this pro seal and do it well. So for those of you, if you look at this flap up here, it's not quite as good a product. It's a little lumpy in places, and you look at this one, and this one's just so much better. And the reason why is because I figured this stuff out. So for those of you who are building or about to build or going to build or what have you, or have built and are going to laugh at me for saying this, there's a little line in the plans where it says apply a thin layer. Thin is the operative word there. I was trying to do this using the syringes, and the syringes make it lumpy. I actually squeegeed off the Pro Seal as I was applying it, and by far this is my best looking surface so far. Actually, I'm not scared of Pro Sealing the ailerons if I actually decided to. They're small, I'm not really worried about it. As you guys could tell, I mean, up here on this wing here, the flap size versus the aileron size. The ailerons are half the size of the flaps, so I'm not going to bother. Anyway, speaking to that, so this flap is done. It's sitting here waiting because I asked you guys in the last video, fuel tanks or ailerons next, and there's a whole discussion that we're going to have on that. But there's one step I'm doing in between that, or before that, which is the gap fairings, which if you guys haven't built one of these or are not GA, haven't done a whole lot of aviation, gap fairings, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So I will demonstrate here. So as we can see, this flap moves like it's supposed to, and it can come all the way into, which that's not a normal position for it. But anyway, so this here is a gap fairing. You'll notice on this wing that I haven't installed it yet, and I left it off for you guys so that way you guys can see this. So no gap fairing on this side, gap fairing on this side. And it goes the entire length of the wing. So this is over the flap section and then over the aileron section here. I'm going to go ahead and install this now. Obviously, that you guys see me doing it. The reason why is because, as you guys can tell, the flaps have to come back off, and I'd rather not take them on and off any more times than I have to. Plus, the ailerons would have to come off if I did them. So I'm going to go ahead and install those now. And that also means that I unfortunately have to take off the bottom skin back off, which is not a big deal. It's only held on by a few clecos on each one of these. Well, 20 or 30 clecos. Take the flap off. Put it all off to the side, install the gap fairing, and then put it all back on. It'll just get it out of the way. These are kind of flimsy pieces. Here, I'll see if I can demonstrate. They're not the most structurally sound pieces. They don't really do anything. They're just there for aerodynamic purposes, to keep air from underneath the components while the flaps are in their full seated position. So that's all it's there for. And I think it provides a little bit of structural support for the skin here up on top, because this is a little bit more stiff. This side is more stiff than this side, obviously, now. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get those installed. They shouldn't be too much work. It's a matter of pulling the bluing, cleco them on, drill them, deburr them, sand them, scuff them, etch them, prime them, and rivet them on. And these rivets here are driven, you can squeeze these, all the rivets you can squeeze, or I believe all of them you can squeeze. You should be able to squeeze all of these. But that means I got to get into here to squeeze them. So, because they're 470-something, -4s, I believe, rivets. Anyway,